Good evening. Welcome to Catholicism Live. I'm Dr. Marty Garza. I'm a Catholic OBGYN in San Antonio. And I'd like to welcome this evening a very special honored guest, Father John Leies from St. Mary's University. We were just chatting before the show. Father John came to St. Mary's about a year before I graduated.
That's right.
My alma mater, Father. Yes. So it's an honor to have you here and good to be with you again. Father, tell us what is the issue of embryonic stem cells. First of all, the definition of embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells, if you would, please.
Well, I would go very simply. A human being is created from the egg of the mother and the sperm of the father.
Correct.
They come together and they form a new human being. When the sperm and the egg merge, you have a period of time of several hours, and the result is a being that has 46 chromosomes, paired 23 from the mother, 23 from the father, and about 20 to 25,000 genes. It's kind of like a tree where the genes constitute the leaves, and it's microscopic. It's so small, and yet that's us. That's what we are. Every one of us starts off as an embryo, huh? And the first is called a zygote. It's a term, and then it become a blastocyst. These are terms, but it is fundamentally what we understand as an embryo. And the number of these chromosomes and these genes, they constitute a being. They constitute the genetic inheritance. That's what you are. And everything else after that is going to be development. So you have the one cell there, and what happens is that gradually the cell divides, and there's 2 and then 4 and 8, etc. Now these first 3 or 4 days, all these cells are what we call stem cells. That's the title given to them. They are undifferentiated. Any one of them could turn into any of the 200 or so different cells in our body. We have brain cells, we have skin cells, we have eye cells, we've got liver cells. And what happens is the development after the 3rd or 4th day, I'm not sure exactly of the time, but about that, somewhere in this conglomeration, a gene turns on. It transmutes. It changes its form. And all at once you have it multiplying 2 and 4 and 8, and it's the brain. These are brain cells that have transmuted from the undifferentiated, from the stem cell, to now a brain cell. And they begin to grow, and they form our brain. Same thing happens at the same time. There's a cell somewhere, a gene somewhere turns on, and all at once our heart is being developed. It's a cardiac cell. And that's the way the organs of our body, our skin, and all of that is formed. And but you say what we're interested in is these cells before they become differentiated. What's the interest today? You know, everybody's talking about stem cells, and it's become not only a scientific issue but a political issue, huh? Yes. Very much so. What people are saying, well, these can become any form of any kind of cell. If we would take these undifferentiated cells, these stem cells, and we would find a way, and we can do that, in which we can turn them on. So if we needed some heart cells, we can turn these on in the laboratory, and we can turn them and multiply them, and we have then available heart cells. If we need some, for example, a person with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease, and it's a neurological condition, and it has to do with the atrophy of brain cells, well, we can take some of these undifferentiated cells, we can turn them into brain cells, multiply them by the millions, and then inject them into the person's brain, and hopefully that will rejuvenate the brain. Now that's the great, the great opportunity we have, the great challenge for our time.
Now, your question was basically the Church's position on embryonic stem cell research.
Yes. Is it? So, if you're Catholic, because I'm like, I guess I consider myself Christian.
Are you Christian or Catholic? Or Catholic Christian?
Oh, I was raised as a Catholic.
Okay. Well, we're going to give you the Catholic viewpoint from Father now.
Okay.
You know, we say, what is God's plan? And his plan for the human race and for creation is very clearly, it's presented to us. You have the union of the egg and the sperm. We'll talk later on about the morality of in vitro fertilization, but we're talking about the Church's position. Now you have a human being. You know,
okay.
you have everything that all the genes and all the chromosomes that you're going to have your entire life. It's done there in one cell, and that then is multiplied. And so you have a human being whose destiny, God's plan, is that that person becomes an adult human and lives a life of holiness and gets to heaven. What you're doing is frustrating God's plan. That's what I mean.
Because you're like putting it under a microscope, what His own creation is for our.
Well, you're not only putting under the microscope, you're destroying things. For example, if they judge some of these embryos aren't good, they destroy them right away. If they have 12 embryos, so they put 2 in the mother's womb. It may or may not that she may or not bring to term. The others are frozen. And at the end, if she has a child, doesn't want any more, you've got 10 leftover embryos. What are you going to do with them? You're going to destroy them. It's the destruction of human life that occurs in this process. Or you say, okay, you put them into a frozen state and kind of a suspended animation. Is that what? No, God, these human beings are supposed to be developing and nourished.
That's not the purpose.
Yeah.
That's not the purpose of their.
That's right, Michael. That's exactly the point.
All right.
Whether you're Catholic or Christian, that's not the way God
Exactly.
planned it.
Thank you, Michael, for your call. For the embryonic stem cell research, we have improved the treatment of no diseases.
That's right.
No successful experiments with embryonic stem cell.
Not that I know of, and I keep watching for the literature very carefully.
Right.
And yes.
Although for years we've heard the potential, and it's potentially
Potential, that's
successful
right.
and potentially successful. Michael J. Fox, potentially successful with Parkinson's.
Christopher Reed.
With spinal cord injuries.
Right.
And President Reagan's wife was big on that for Alzheimer's. Trying
right, yes.
potential, but nothing has panned out. And what has panned out is the success with adult stem cell. And we have some excellent references on diseases and people that have been cured here. I just want to review, I'll quote this, with adult stem cell, physicians have successfully treated autoimmune diseases such as lupus, multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis. We have helped corneal degeneration, restored vision in cases of blindness, proper cardiac function to heart attack sufferers, improved movement in spinal cord injuries. And actually it has case studies, case after case here, of young people that spinal cord injuries, tissue, heart regeneration, transplant. You know, I was surprised at how young the transplant field is. This is within my medical training that this has actually been started.
There's very, very solid, good reasons why the church holds a position. It's not just saying, oh, we're anti-science. No, the church is one of the great encouragers and promoters of science down through history. The Galileo affair, you can talk about that, but that's one incident that occurred.
Sure.
The church has been the promoter of science, and the promoter even today, you know, and the churches, the things have come from Rome of encouragement that our Catholic people encourage adult stem cell work. There are many Catholic hospitals now are freezing, you know, after birth in order to have it available. And so this I hope is that people will understand. It's not only among doctors, it's among other people too that they wonder. They pick up from the secular press.
Yes.
Criticism of the church, unfounded.
Yes. I think it's politically correct now to criticize the Catholic Church. I wanted to invite, this is the first time I will be speaking on television about this. We are going to have a conference in San Antonio put on by a group called the Hispanic Alliance for Life and Family, whom I'm representing, and inviting you and inviting all of our listeners. And it is a group that's come together to educate the Hispanic Catholic and any Catholic on the 5 non-negotiables, of which 2 or 3 are very much involved with what we spoke today: abortion and embryonic stem cell research and human cloning. Father, I'd like to invite you back to discuss human cloning at another time. But it will be at Antonian High School, September 4th, 5th, and 6th. We will have speakers discussing all of these topics, and the idea is to educate ourselves so that we can go back to our communities, our Bible studies, our RCIA classes, our catechism classes. If you're a teacher, if you're a facilitator for a Bible study, if you just want to get the facts, come. It's at Antonian High School, September 4th, 5th, and 6th. The website is Hispanic Alliance for Life and Family. It will be up shortly, within a week or two, and I invite you to become educated so you can defend the faith. Thank you, Father, very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Marty.
Exciting. You're a great teacher.